Today, I want to talk about chaos. At the time that I am recording this, the East Coast is getting tore up by a winter storm. There is snow on the ground in Atlanta, and the West Coast is getting tore up by fires. A lot of people right now are carrying heavy things. First of all, there's what's happening in the weather or the climate stuff. And then there's uncertainty about what 2025 is going to be. There, people are dealing with personal challenges. It's a lot. This feels heavy for a lot of people. And I wanted to create this episode to hold space for all of it. If you are feeling overwhelmed, I want to remind you that you don't have to have the answers to all of the questions right now. Sometimes the best thing you can do is nothing. And when you are ready to start moving, choose to take things one step at a time. Let's get into this conversation. Hey, y'all. Welcome to Confident Women Glow. I'm Mo James, and this is the podcast where we dive into self-discovery, self-trust, and self-expression to help you create a life that's true to who you really are. I believe that confidence isn't just a mindset. It's a practice. It's about showing up boldly even when life feels messy and owning your journey every step of the way. Thanks for tuning in. Let's get into this episode. So, if you've been loving these podcast conversations, let me tell you about a space where we take them even deeper, the Glow Circle membership. This is your space to connect with a community of like-minded women, to dive into monthly coaching calls, and to get access to resources that support your confidence, growth, and healing. Whether you are navigating triggers, building self-trust, or redefining what it means to live boldly, the Glow Circle is here to hold space for you. And here's the best part. Your first 7 days are free. That's a whole week to see if this space is what you've been searching for. So why wait? Head over to glowcircle.us and join us today. You belong here. When it feels like chaos is running the show, I believe it's important to start by naming what you are feeling, whether it's fear, whether it's dread, whether it's anger, whether it's helplessness. These are all natural responses to the mess that is happening around us. And sometimes when we're trying to carry the situation and carry the feelings without really identifying what those feelings are, it feels like too much. And so that's when you got to pause. You got to stop. You got to take a breath. And from the breath, you can start to move through things. And I know the whole naming your feelings thing might seem like something that you can skip, especially when foolishness and drama and stress is chasing you down. So what is the point? Why go through the process of naming what you are feeling? First of all, it validates your experience. When you can name what you are feeling, you acknowledge for yourself that your emotions are valid. You give yourself permission to feel it. And sometimes that self validation is the first step to finding your calm in the middle of the chaos. Secondly, it helps you process whatever you're feeling instead of suppressing it or avoiding it. Because when you avoid what you're feeling, those emotions don't go away. They explode later at inconvenient times and in unhealthy ways. And so when you give yourself permission to name it, you're saying to you, I see you. You're valid. You matter. And you give yourself permission to start to figure out how to work through it. Because when everything feels overwhelming, the emotions can blur together. And sometimes it's hard to even figure out where to start. So, again, instead of saying, I'm just so stressed out, you might realize I'm scared about what's happening and I'm angry that I feel so powerless. Just being able to say it in those words, use that language, can help guide you toward what you need just because you are clear in how you feel. And then once you name the emotions, you can start asking yourself, what do I need to do right now? And it could be nothing. It could be take a moment to breathe. It could be find support. Like you give yourself the awareness to respond instead of react because chaos is designed to make you feel off balance. And when you can give yourself that moment to name what's going on inside of you, you create a foundation for calm and figuring out what only you can do. In times like these, it is tempting to feel like you have to fix everything right now. But what if you focused on just the things that are within your control? And right now, that might be picking up the phone, sending the text to check on somebody. It could be eating something healthy instead of the chips. And I know plain Lays are the greatest thing since a bread slicer, but you might not need those right now. It could be making a checklist so that you are prepared when the next calamity, natural disaster, storm, whatever happens. Or it could be organizing the pile of clutter that you've been walking by for the last 3 months. And I want you to make sure that while you're doing all of these active things, you are incorporating staying grounded. And you could do those in simple ways. That could be journaling, just taking the time to write about what you're feeling. It could be listening to music. It could be doing nothing. Doing nothing is my favorite thing to do. Just sitting in stillness to rest. I feel like the hard seasons remind us that we are not meant to do life alone. I feel like the hard seasons remind us that we can find strength in community and connection. When we feel helpless, sometimes we do tell ourselves the story that starts to spin up in our heart and minds is that we are all alone. That's a lie. That's why community is so important. You do not have to push through right now. You do not have to pretend you're okay. This episode was created with the intention of reminding you that you should be feeling what you feel. Feel what you feel and trust yourself that you have what it takes to navigate through it. We are not meant to carry all of this stuff all at one time. And so put it down. Put it down. You don't have to figure it all out today. Give yourself permission to take things one step at a time. Okay. Thanks for sticking with me to the end of this episode. I hope you are feeling inspired and ready to take the next step toward your masterpiece life. If this episode resonated with you, I'd love it if you left a rating or review in your podcast player. It helps more women like you find the show. And if you're ready for deeper conversations and support, come join us in the Glow Circle membership community. Your first 7 days are free, and we would love to have you. Thank you for being a part of this amazing community. Until next time, keep glowing. Later.